Today's Thursday. I went in to see my oncologist, like I said I would yesterday, and all the worry was for naught. All for naught. I'm fine. I'm just fine. I'm making cotton candy while I talk to you. Let's see, how did it go? Of the 3 lesions that they were monitoring, 2 have vanished, but a new one has popped up. This is in my lungs. As for whether or not there's any breast cancer, that's not her jurisdiction unless and until I've had a mammogram come up showing a genuine concern, and that would be through my GP. You following? So, wow, that's loud. So the GP is the one that would schedule the mammogram, interpret the results, and determine whether or not to worry about breast cancer. The reason I'm seeing the surgeon is because as part of that CT scan, they saw how does she put it, a thickening of a part of the colon, which could just be inflammation from, indigestion. So I'm going to talk to Dr. Diabald about that. I hope the heck they're not going to sit there and go, oh, well, we're going to have to chop some of your colon out. But I think at this point, all it means is we're going to schedule you again in 90 days for another colonoscopy, to take another look, or another CT scan or whatever. So she's going to have me in for another CT scan of my lungs in 3 months. But other than that, that's pretty much it with the cancer clinic. Yeah, it looks like I'm fine. A friend took me in so I wouldn't have to drive in the snowstorm and I wouldn't have to pay for parking, and that was really nice. Thank you, Janice. She drives a nice truck, and she came over and had lunch, and I went into the clinic, and yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I feel fine. I mean, I'm fit as a fiddle and ready to dance, Singing and dancing and whistling and romancing, and what are you gonna do? Yeah. Geez, I have nothing to talk about today. Guess what I'm doing today? Did you guess playing Minecraft and eating cotton candy? Oh, you're so clever. How could you possibly have guessed? And now I have no good excuse for it. One of these days I'm going to have to get back onto a schedule of actually accomplishing work and getting exercise, instead of congesting calories and sitting on my butt. This is what makes me so fat. I'm 80 kilograms. For those of you using the old system, that's 175 pounds, which on a 5'4" woman is pretty heavy, really. Well, everybody keeps going, oh, that's not bad, you can handle it. You're not fat, it's all right. It's like, I know you're lying to be nice. Just don't do that. You don't have to be nasty to me, but neither do you have to pretend in order to allow me to live in some fantasy world that I, as an autistic, am patently incapable of living in. Autism. What's autism? Well, I think that autism is a different operating system. Slightly different operating system. They're not that different. They're about as different as Macintosh and Microsoft. And I think that that's all that autism is. But it means that we function a little differently. We have different skill sets. We have different expectations. We're not the same kind of social interactions. I'm lacking situational awareness, and I have trouble in person with thinking and talking at the same time, unless we're talking about a subject. But if we're talking about social stuff, it's a constant and stressful mental run in my head where I have to try and remember what I'm supposed to talk about, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear, and read your expressions as we go along to make sure that I figure it out. I've gotten pretty good at it, actually. I still occasionally do, some people, well, assholes still have trouble with me. But nice people, they see past the occasional faux pas. So, there, I'm getting a message from a friend, but I'm busy cotton candying and vlogging. Told my friend he didn't have to come over if he didn't want to tramp through the snow, because in point of fact, I'm fine. I don't have more cancer. I'm not going in for surgery. I'm so glad I'm not going to be spending time in the hospital. I wasn't looking forward to that. I can take pain. I can take illness, I can take weakness, I can heal fast. There's all kinds of things I can do. But what I can't stand is the utter lack of privacy and no decent food. And it's boring. Oh, hours and hours of doing nothing, sitting around doing nothing. It's terrible. You know, if you're in a lot of pain, then you don't notice the time go by, but and you heal fast, you just want to get out of there, and they're like, well, yeah, it looks pretty good, and you could probably do okay, but we just want to be sure. You got to stay a few more days. It's like, get me out of here. I'll do better at home with my little doggy. My little doggy's fine. Both of my doggies are fine. He didn't bite anyone today. When my friend came over, he wanted to be very vicious, but I kept him contained in his basket, and he didn't bite. She says she did. She wouldn't mind if he did. I don't know. I don't know how you can not mind when a dog bites you. But he only actually gets through to the people who actually mind, it seems. Or maybe you don't mind until you actually... Oh, look at that. And I'm going to... Okay, where was I? Well, I finished and ate the cotton candy while chatting on Messenger with a friend of a friend. Not even... I think she was just bored and talking to someone to cure boredom. So the friend that she's friends with is at work, so not available for chit-chat. It snowed so hard today. Wow. I was just so glad I had a friend to drive me. It's still snowing. And I don't like driving my smart car in the snow. I can. And I have enough skill to do so successfully. But it's a little unnerving, and it's definitely exhausting. And the car does not have what you'd call traction. Exactly. It's more like steering a boat, really, or skating. You glide around a lot, and you just kind of steer carefully and gradually. And I really don't have anything to talk about. I really don't. After it's only been half a month and I'm already out of topics. How good is that? I should have prepared in advance, I guess, to have something to talk about today, so that I could go on for a half an hour. I'm looking off in the distance because the window's more interesting than the camera lens, and because you kind of cut out you kind of look away when you're thinking, when you're trying to drag something out of your head. Yeah. And frankly, the window's much more interesting than the camera lens. There's snow falling out there, and there's people shoveling snow, and there's vehicles driving around, and there's little birdies in the trees, and there's wind blowing. Here, you can watch me. Looking out the window. Well, okay. I guess it's not that interesting, but that's because the camera doesn't pick up the snowflakes and stuff. It doesn't pick up the details. And because the camera doesn't have depth. Oh, there goes a vehicle. Mostly I think it's the depth, you know? Because here in the house I have a gaze distance of about 10 feet in any given direction. And I think that psychologically, I do know that the part of the brain that processes optics is an extremely active and large part, a generous part of the brain, and so what it's doing affects how you feel. And the busier it is, the happier you feel. Yeah, actually, that's one reason why bright colors can please you. That's one reason, and it's probably why depressed and stressed out people don't like visual density, because they're already much too active and they want restfulness. That's why spas are done in soft colors, soft, natural, easy tones, and happy places are done in bright colors, because the thing that you look at has such a strong effect on your emotional state. And when you stick a person in a room where they can't see more than 10 feet in any direction or worse, you're depriving their brain of that visual stimulus. So if you give them a window, they spend a lot of time looking out the window, even though the view may not change. The ability to look in different focal lengths affects how the brain feels about things. So that's another reason why getting out. It's not just the fresh air, it's the improved view, being able to different focal ranges, looking 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 100 feet, a mile away. That sort of thing affects the brain in a really happy way. And so I think that's why I like it. Let me show you some toys. This is a fun toy. See a little fish in there? Little motorized fish swims around. The colors change. Just tap on it, and you can probably see that he's on a little wire. And the wire is connected to the cap where there's a motor in it. And so he just swims around. Swims around. It's real water. And he's made of plastic. And that's just it's a computer blower that's dying. But I used it on my smoker a lot. Then there's all these Furbies that occasionally wake up. You get a little bit of noise and it wakes them up. Especially this guy. And it drives my husband crazy because they'll come on randomly and then he will be like, and that's why they're all on their backs, to try and encourage them to fall asleep faster. I can actually wake them all up. Wakey, wakey. Unless the batteries are dead. I changed batteries out in a lot of them recently. There we go. Oh, let's wake this. This is the newest one, and they solved the problem by giving it a sleep mask. And this one doesn't wake up at all anymore. Wakey, wakey. Exit takey. Oh, we woke up. There you go. He's got colored eyes, unlike the other ones. He has, see? And then there's all these little guys. They got a little switch in their head, and they've got lenticular lenses for eyes, and the switch. And when these Furbies hear that, they respond. So, you can just put a pile of Furbies on the floor. All of them can work with a smartphone or tablet. These guys work on infrasound, so you have to put the smartphone or tablet and the Furby on a resonating surface so that they can hear it. This guy works with Bluetooth. Man, they're noisy. Oh, see now here's one whose batteries are dying. This one was waking up a lot. Now its batteries are dying. So you can pet them. You can feed them. Feed them by pressing on their tongue. You can pet them, you can pull on them, you can pull their tails, you can squeeze them. And they have little switches all over underneath the fur. Yeah, I actually took the fur off one of them and had a look and put it back on, and I'm lucky I didn't damage it, but I was able to put it back together. But they've got little switches on either side of their eyes, and there's one in their belly, and they've got some down their back, and there's one in their tail, so they actually can tell. This guy's even got a switch in his antenna thing. Changes color. And that's also a way of turning on the app. The app's okay, but it's too young for me and requires too much interactivity. So I kind of lost interest in the app. And you can play it without the Furby or with the Furby. So, now I've got a noisy bunch of Furbies on my hands. But when I was feeling really sick and depressed and lonely, they were really nice to have around. Very good company. Hey, can we see the bird today? I tried putting him in a video the other day, and it was too dark. Here we go. He doesn't understand the camera. It scares him. Scary, isn't it, Sam? Is this camera scary? Yeah? Look at you with your feathers all up. See, that's an attitude of, I'll bite you if you get any closer. And then that's a shriek of fear and hazard. See, it's his way of saying, I don't trust you. That's really ear piercing. I don't know how the camera is handling it, but man, it hurts my ears when he does that. It really hurts. Oh yeah, look at the snow. Look at the snow falling in front of the bus here. Can you see it? Why doesn't cameras pick up snow? It's falling really... Pardon me, it's falling really thickly, and yet there's really very little snow actually falling on the camera. It's making the place foggy. Oh, I gotta get away from the shrieking. Oh, you like my little sign? Beware of parrot. Oh, Piper, shall we do a selfie together? Piper, want to do a selfie? Hey, Piper. Hey, Piper. Hey, Piper. What are you doing, Piper? Come here, Piper. Come here. She's just no good at this. Look at her. Like, what's this? I'm trying to get her to come here. There. There you go. Selfies. Hyper Piper, we call her. Her previous experience as a dog did not give her a whole lot of confidence or understanding of people. How about a selfie with the little one? Should we pick him up? Hey, Timmy. Selfie! Kisses! He gave me kisses. He was busy. He was busy licking something. Have you seen my paintings? This is done by an archaeologist. When he was in university taking art classes, he had to do a whole series of these, so I have 2 of them. And that is done by a retired woman who did not tell the ladies at church that she was an artist. The one on the side was done by a Northern Ontario Indigenous artist. I've had it since the 70s, and gosh, I love it. I love it so much. It's such a beautiful, beautiful painting, isn't it? And then underneath it, a local artist named Johnny Marceland painted this one, and they're both in the same style, so they go well together. And then there's a set designer was playing with his new computer and his new printer and his new graphics and just worked that up for fun, and I liked it. This is a print that hung in my family house when I was growing up. My grandfather drew this. My father's father drew this. It was the Ritman House and a single church in Schiedam. Hofje van Ritman and Singelkerk, Schiedam. JV. Yeah, I'm not going to continue. I'm not supposed to be giving off last names like that. That little poster was given to me by somebody who thought somehow that I was a dangerous woman. I don't know. He thought it was very funny. I don't know. I've never been that kind of a person. I don't really understand what the message was that he was saying. But then there's this one here I bought off of a street artist. And this one was sent to me as a card from a friend. So, little art gallery. That's not all the art I have. That's some of the art. I will show you another one. This one here is done by an artist who lives in Vancouver, and the last I heard he does comic books. This is called Demon Dance, I think. And it's done on drywall. Is that not spectacular? Yeah, and there's one behind the bird cage. It's pointillist, done by a fellow named Bud Hnetka here in Saskatoon. This one right here, it's gorgeous. Tree of Life. I got it framed because it's so beautiful and precious. Look at all the teeny tiny dots that he made. Look at the delicacy of it. Look at how tiny it is. Such detail. It's just so serene and harmonious. This was a guy, and that is done by the same set designer as that computer print-off that I showed you of the fish. This one that's behind me. But that tree, that fella used to, when I first got to know him, he used to sit in the park with a piece of wood and a magnifying glass on a sunny day, burning tiny dots into the wood with the magnifier to create pointillist art. Oh, and this one here that hides behind the wood stove is an Indian temple rubbing that a lover of mine brought back from India and gave to me as a gift. These are carvings on the temple, and the local folks will press the charcoal, rub charcoal across it, and then sell it to the tourists, which is very clever. It goes well with my carving of Hanuman that was given away at a memorial for its owner. My friend Marcus died, and some of his better things were put out for people to take, and that was my selection. Now, the lovely green taro, white taro, now her name escapes me, and I know it so well. Anyways, she's a Buddhist figure of compassion and healing, and she has been very instrumental in my life. She's not so much as a finger broken on her fine china, and I'm just so proud of her. She was sort of given to me. The guy that I used to take my camera to for repair, Cheng's Camera Shop, we kind of struck up a friendship, and one day his wife comes running in. She couldn't speak English at all. He spoke only a little. She comes running in and she offers me this, and I like it very much. Okay, she says, $25. I'm like, they want me to buy it. I've already said that I want it and accepted it as a gift, and now they're asking me to pay for it. Maybe this is some custom, I don't know, but I paid the $25 and didn't say a word. I just smiled and said, okay. And given that I know that if I was to go to a store and purchase a statue of that quality, it would cost well over $200. So I figured that it was some sort of a custom where they extract money because thanks isn't good enough, or to make sure there's no real obligation between you. I don't know. It's also confusing. Here's another piece of artwork. This little dragon, I bought him at the Fringe from a street artist. Isn't he cute? He's so cute. And I got all my 3D printed boxes that I made. I think I have, I know. The final work of art, there is a Spanish woman who makes ball-jointed dolls, and she made one to be printed in 3D, and I printed one in 3D. Her name is Eva. Eva. She doesn't care. She's posed. Isn't she beautiful? I printed her, and I painted her, and I assembled her. If I come in real close, you can kind of see the texture of it. She's 3D printed. Yeah, it's getting blurry. I'm sorry about that. Anyways, that's Eva. She's beautiful, and I'm proud of her. She has red irises, and her eyes are separate orbs inside the mask of her face, and then the head is put on separately. She's sexy, isn't she? She's beautiful. Okay, that's my vlog for today. I'll try to do better tomorrow. Bye. Yeah, no new cancer.